70 years before Magellan, Islam was already planted here. Nandito na yung mga evangelist. So when Spain said, kunin ko pati Mindanao, and I would call the Forefathers.
Ang dokumentaryong ito ay ginawa sa pangunguna ng Mercy Islamic Foundation sa layuning iparating sa mga tao ang tungkol sa katotohanan ng kasaysayan ng Islam sa Pilipinas. Na ang Islam ay ang relihiyon ng ating mga ninuno at kung paano sila dumating, namuno at nawala sa kapangyarihan sa ating bansa. Pinamagatan namin itong Call of Our Forefathers upang mabatid ng ating mga kababayan ang mga ikinubli sa ating kasaysayan at malaman natin ang panawagang pangkultura at paniniwala ng ating mga ninuno. Maraming salamat at samahan niyo po kami sa paglalakbay tungo sa ating kasaysayan.
In commerce, the barter system was in use, for money was not invented.
About 1,000 years ago, ito na yung age of trade. Meaning, ang Pilipinas ay meron ng mga trade relationship with China, Southeast Asia, katulad ng Vietnam, Thailand, even Cambodia, and other countries, Indonesia, and Malaysia. And Brunei, of course.
Before the advent of Islam, the people of Mindanao and Sulu were polytheistic animists. They worshipped stones and stars, moons, and other inanimate objects. Also, the diwatas and anitos were essential features of their belief system.
Sa Mindanao, meron tayong mga anthropomorphic pottery, yung mga may hugis ng mukha ng tao na ginagawang jar burial. Isa ito na nagbibigay sa atin ng direct evidence ng kanilang ritual at paniniwala. Religion na ito ang pinag-uusapan. So maaga, ang evidence directly linking to religion and afterlife na ang practice nito ay secondary burial ang tawag. Yung primary burial, yung libing ng mga tao, yung buong kadaver at pag nag-disintegrate ito, kinukuha yung bones, inililipat sa jars or any other vessel para secondary burial. Kung marami namang individuals ang inilipat, multiple secondary burial din yun sa isang jar. So ito yung practice na nakikita natin na ang masasabi natin, this is animistic and sa iba, tawag nila pagan practice. But again, we cannot say that this is a real religion, but a practice, a cultural practice, and a belief system. Pwede rin tawaging religion, kung pwede mong i-push na gano'n. Kasi afterlife belief na yan eh.
The establishment of a writing system in the archipelago predates the arrival of Islam.
Meron ng system of writing na ginagamit ang mga Pilipino at the time. Although, meron na tayong evidence ng writing even during the 900 AD. Pero yun ay nire-represent ang proto-historic period. But when Islam and Christianity were introduced sa Pilipinas, nag-start na.
How did Islam come to the archipelago?
Islam came through two trade routes. One is from the Malay Peninsula itself, and the other is through Indochina, what would correspond to now Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. The evidence for this are stones. This is very well discussed by scholars like Dr. Cesar Mahul of the University of the Philippines and also Dr. Najib Salivi.
There existed during the last quarter of the 13th century, if not earlier, a Muslim settlement or community in Sulu. This probably consisted of foreign traders, some of whom might have married members of the ruling families or even played some political role.
Pag sinabi kasi coming of Islam to the Philippines, we are not talking of an accidental phenomenon, but we are talking of a divinely, provincially guided movement of Islam. So there were Arabs who came here to Southeast Asian Malay group doing trading at that time. And at the same time, when they were trading with people in Malaysia and Indonesia, they were able to establish Islamic principalities and communities and filtered Islamic way of life among the people.
Tuan Masyaika, or Tuan Makbalo, belonged to this stage. Men like them brought the first elements of Islam, for they were integrated to the indigenous communities, raising with them Muslim families. As mentioned by Dr. Cesar Adib Mahul in support of this theory, a tombstone on the slope of Buddato, dating back to 710H, or in the Gregorian calendar, 1310 AD, bore the name of Tuan Makbalo. The existence of such a settlement, the memory of their leading public figures, and a rise to social and political status of the descendants of some such individuals, as in the case of the descendants of Tuan Masyaika, demonstrate that the native population was not only antagonistic to Islam, but was open to it. Such openness explains the conversion to Islam with the arrival of the missionaries in Sulu, an event contemporaneous with the work of other missionaries in Java. It can be estimated to have taken place about the second half of the 14th century.
We assume that, as our ancestors have handed down to us, have narrated to us, Islamization at the time was just the belief in one God, the introduction of monotheism.
In 1380, Sheikh Karimul Makhdum, an Arab missionary, also known as Sharif Aulia, arrived and converted a large number of inhabitants to Islam. Makhdum was responsible for the founding and building of the first mosque in the Philippines at Tubig Indangan, Simunul Island, Tawi-Tawi.
Behind is the first mosque in the Philippines. In 1380, an Arabian missionary named Sheikh Karimul Makhdum landed in this island, which is Simunul. Before he landed, this island named Tumbakang. This Tumbakang is a name of tree that surround the island. When Makhdum landed in this island, he immediately constructed the mosque, which is the oldest and the first mosque in the Philippines. That is in 1380.
This is one of the four remaining pillars inside the mosque of Karimul Makhdum, Tubig Indangan, Simunul Island, Tawi-Tawi.
This Anjautan means big people, big person. So if you happen to see the tomb of the Sheikh Karimul, it's almost 8 feet the height of the Sheikh Karimul Makhdum.
The coming of Muslim Malays from Sumatra at the beginning of the 15th century had political implications. This is a stage represented by the coming of Raja Baginda Ali, who brought along with him scholars in religious matters. The existence of a Muslim ruler guarantees the preservation of the work of the propagators and the prestige of the older Muslims. This particular stage saw the establishment of Muslim political institutions, more specifically the Sultanate, under Shariful Hashim by the middle of the 15th century. At this time, Islam spread from the coastal areas to the mountain areas in the interior of the island of Sulu. The acceptance of the Sultanate as a legitimate political institution by the coastal chiefs suggests that Islamic consciousness must have been quite widespread among them. Thus, in this particular stage, organized religious instruction became common.
الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك.
And then later on, Shariful Hashim, the son-in-law of Raja Baginda, established the Sulu Sultanate in 1405. So, with the establishment of the Sulu Sultanate, Islam became the state religion. It is only the time that there was very strong Islamization in the most southern part of the present-day Philippines.
Because Islam did not come only as a religion. You see, there's a difference between religion from the point of view of Muslims and religion from the point of view of non-Muslims. Among Muslims, religion is both a relationship to God and a way of life on earth. So that through Islam, you can organize political system, you can organize economic system, you can organize educational system, and all those that will affect the advancement of the Ummah. You can have all the systems established in the society. And that's why we are saying that Islam is not just a religion, which is actually a relationship of man to God, the Creator, but it is also a way of life.
This is the grave of Raja Baginda Ali, located in Budatu, Holo. By the beginning of the 16th century, increased contacts, both political and commercial, with other Islamized parts of Malaysia transformed Sulu into an integral part of an expanding Darul Islam in Malaysia.
Sulu was part of Darul Islam in Malaysia, which was commonly referred to as the Brunei Empire. So Sulaiman was here, who was paying taxes to the Brunei Empire in Borneo. And you have in Sulu also. This is collective assistance to each others in defense of the Muslim empire.
The colorful epic and unfolding historical saga of Islam will tell us that we, both Muslims and non-Muslims, can come to terms to achieve peace and harmony in the Philippines. Tolerance and mutual respect is the key to this effort. Assalamu alaikum.